What's going on? Welcome back to the channel. So today I want to talk to you about NIO. I want to go over some of the current data points, break it down on what just came out associated to NIO and what shorts are doing. Before we get into any of that, make sure to hit that thumbs up, and with that, let's get right to it. So NIO is down 2.77% pre-market. So every single time NIO does start to build up some good momentum, it just gets completely shut down. So today, no official news linking to NIO, no SEC filings. Rather, it is this that is moving it. So weekly registration numbers, ONVO did fall to 370, NIO 1100. So NIO barely made this kind of list right here, so the top 10 list. So absolutely dismal. And so yeah, I think NIO, they're not overly in trouble. It's probably just a one-off week because the previous week was fairly good, but nonetheless though, this definitely is not kind of a good image to say the least. So ultimately, that is why it is going down. You are having big institutions legitimately selling NIO, and you can kind of tell that just based on what's happening pre-market. And at the same time, if you're kind of looking at this, so surprisingly, shorts are returning some shares this morning. So in my opinion, maybe they're just freeing up some room, but they are returning 455,000 shares. 11.64% of the free float is being shorted. Works out to be 155.4 million shares overall are being shorted. So normally you can always tell what happens pre-market. So for instance, if shorts are kind of quiet pre-market, then they're letting and will let NIO kind of move up higher. If they start to increase, then usually that's a fair assumption that they're going to really hit it hard throughout the trading day. This doesn't happen all too often, the fact that they actually return during the day. So as far as what and how this will all play out, it's if it does recover to a technical level, I feel like that's where shorts will once again kind of double down and really hit it hard. But as far as right now with it at $4.22, it is trading between these 2 points. So the pivot in this S1, $4.13 is going to be that next strong support. I don't see that being touched today, at least. Flip side, $4.28. So like I mentioned, if let's say there is a recovery and it gets close to that, this is where I feel shorts might double down to ensure that it does close below that, because I think that's one thing that shorts definitely like to do, is they like to do the kind of hard work just to break the technicals just enough that algorithmic trading will just push it down the rest of the way. So let me know your viewpoint on that. As far as what was done yesterday, you had the call options, so there's a good consensus for it to be above $5. Even for April 17th, you're seeing a lot of optimism for it to be like around $6 to $7. So that's definitely been gaining some pretty good momentum, is the level of optimism. Then the bears, flip side, they're anticipating for it to be sub 350. Kind of polar opposites, but yeah, I think there still is a little bit more upside anticipated, but still nonetheless though, like NIO needs to get their crap together operationally. But then again, what do I know? But aside from that, just watch for a lot of these key support and resistance points. Moving over here, no new analyst ratings, nothing like that. With it at 422 pre-market, it is below the ALMA, so that's at 425, and then that 50-day moving average is $4.41. Two very key points to that you really want to watch for NIO to get above. But like I said, I think shorts will be fairly active today if NIO does start to gain some good momentum. But at the same time, even coming from an algorithmic standpoint, I think a lot of them will be suppressing the broader market because of what Powell most likely will say in regards to inflation, monetary policy, labor data, and then you have CPI coming out on tomorrow. So I think the algos will be fairly active. So yeah, let me know your viewpoint on NIO. Like I said, it honestly is a very frustrating stock to constantly watch and to own, because it does show a lot of signs that wants to break out, always has this good hype, and then it just like gets killed 9 times out of 10. So as I mentioned, kind of December here tries to run up past that 50-day moving average, gets slapped down, tries again, slap down, rinse and repeat. This kind of period right here was somewhat lackluster, didn't really have that same momentum that it did before, but I think right now there needs to be something concrete. I know yesterday there was a lot of stimulus hopes, but there needs to be like actual figures and numbers that we can actually digest. China has been really bad for that, in all honesty. They like to just kind of speculate on, hey, we need stimulus, but they don't really give true numbers, and I think people don't believe those numbers. So it's just a very bad scenario. But I've been covering NIO for a good almost like year and a half, 2 years, and one very common thing and why it's just been like this downtrend is largely because of geopolitical issues. So most likely that is going to continue, and if not, most likely escalate under a Trump administration. So if you're an investor in NIO, just be prepared for a lot of volatile times ahead, but hopefully I'm wrong. So let me know your thoughts on NIO. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up and subscribe. I always greatly appreciate that. And then one final thing, pop over to my Discord, completely free. A lot of good people, a lot of good chat there. Talk options, stocks, whatever floats your boat. So definitely worthwhile to go over there and take a look. With all that, appreciate all of you watching.